guys, this is Master Ice 9886 with an episode on how to install and mod Farming Simulator in any types of maps inside of Farming Simulator. Today I'm going to be showing you how to install a garage with working doors into your mod here to any map that you would like it to do. For this you're going to need to have a few things. First, I'm going to need you to download, it's the 56x72 shop version 1.0 through 4 Farming Simulator 17. It is by CBJ Midwest Modding. It does come with multiple types of buildings, but it does not come with doors, so that's what we're going to need. You're just going to need to download that, so you're just going to click on the download link. Make sure it's this one. If you click something like this, you're going to have spam, so make sure you click this one right here. Next, you're going to have a link to a shed pack that I have uploaded. I could not find the shed pack that I get it from online anywhere. So I did put it all together and put it right into a folder for you. Just make sure you download it. It is by Dutch Agricultural Modeling. If someone does have a link for it, be sure to send that link to me, and then I can sit there and actually post the actual link to it. I just could not find it, so I'm giving it to you this way, and I am giving credit to the model or the modding authors here. So you're going to download that. You're also going to need a map. I'm going to be using Farming Simulator Haagenstedt from 2013 to whoever remembers that one. And you're also going to need Giant Editor. That'll help you out there. So once you have all of those downloaded, installed, I recommend putting it into some kind of a folder here. So I have mine here, and the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to extract all of the files. There are several different types of methods. Windows has a built-in one. You can also get like 7-zip or WinRAR, which is what I use. But you just want to sit there, you're going to extract all of those files there. Alright, once you have all of your files there installed and extracted, you're going to want to make sure you have an original copy of Farming Simulator for the Haagenstedt or whatever map you use. Since it is already a zip file and we had to unzip it, it's just make sure you don't touch any of those. You want original copies of everything. So the first thing you want to do is you're going to open up your shed pack folder here, and inside the shed pack folder it comes with everything that you will need for it. In addition, it comes with several different types of files, including a readme. I would highly recommend opening up the readme, take a look at it. We will put this to the side because I'll use it later to show you anything that you need. But first we're going to sit there, we're going to head back into our installation folder, and we're actually going to make a new folder real quick. And we're just going to simply title it Door. All you got to do is simply title it Door. Don't touch it, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go back into our shed pack folder, and any one of the .i3d files, whether it's the shed _1 or the shed _2, you can just select it. Well, either one, just double click it. But you gotta make sure you have Giant Editor installed on your computer. If you do not have Giant Editor installed, it will not work. And if it does not work, well, we can talk another time. And then what you're gonna do is you'll be loaded up into a screen sort of like this. Right click, you can pan around, scroll. You can just do them in or out. That's usually how I do it. There are, secondary controls, alt and left click, right click, middle click. I just never been a fan of it that way. I've always just done it my way. So what you're going to do is you want to make sure you have Screen Graph open. If you don't have Screen Graph, it's this here. All you got to do is go up to Windows and click on Screen Graph. It'll pop it up. You will also need to also open up your attributes and open up your terrain editing. And again, you can have yours laid out the same exact way as mine or not. You can do it however you want. I really don't care. So anyways, you just want to make sure you have them out. These can just move around if you want to. What we're going to do first is you're going to want to click on the door itself like that. And what it does is it selects a certain part of the door depending on how it works. For this instance, it selected door trigger. All we need to do is click on it, because once it opens up everything here for the shed pack, we can actually select the entire door, and by selecting the entire door, it gives us the ability to pretty much take the door out. And then what you're going to do is once you have the entire door selected, you're just going to go up to File, Export Selection with Files, And then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our installation folder there. We're going to select the folder that we created that's titled door. And inside there, we're just going to make it door underscore work. It could be named anything, but I just use that. And we're just going to click save, and then you're going to want to save the parent directory structure. So we're going to do that. Wait for it to pop up here. It sits there and says it was saved. Once it says that, you can simply X out. Make sure you select no, not to save any changes. And then we're going to go back to our installation folder. Now if you look inside your door folder, we have the door file as well as the textures. So we're going to head back out to our installation folder. This is crucial. You need to pay attention for this. Is we are going to select the door and the shop file, the 56 by 72 shop. You're going to hit Control X or right click and cut. It just, it's sort of like copies and paste, but it just pulls it out. We're going to go inside our map folder and then inside maps again. And then you're going to look for a folder that says textures. Inside textures, that's where you're just going to want to click and paste that. That's what puts it in the door and into the game, so you are able to pull it out from inside the game. So then what we're going to do is we're going to go back into maps here, where it has the main folders, which where you had your textures, sounds, etc., etc. You're going to want to select Hoggenstead or the whatever map if you're using Goldcrest Valley, Westbridge Hills like me. You just want to make sure you select the i3D format file and just select that and let it load up. It may take a minute or two depending on the speed of your computer, but you'll know when it's loaded in when you're able to X out of this. And once you're able to X out of that, you're just going to want to look to where you want to put it, and in this case Hoggenstead spawns you right under the ground. So you're just going to need to do it like that, and I'm actually going to put mine right here in this field. So the first thing you want to do is if you're putting it into a field, you're going to want to clear out the area here. Now I'm just selecting the trees and just deleting them, and then what I want to do is I want to get rid of the field markers. So it's this field 15. I clicked on the little purchase icon there, and then it pulled up the folder right up here where field 15. I just want to select that and hit Control or the delete button, and that gets rid of the door completely. And then we're just going to neaten up the field here. So we're just going to remove the ground texture there, so it's no longer marked as a field. As you can see, it just removes the cultivated ground there. Go around, swirl that around. Beautiful. Make sure everything looks good. And then we are just going to remove the grass because there are some grass here, so we're just going to remove that. Just make it a little easier on us. And then what we're going to do is we're going to first want to close up any of these open folders that we had from clearing out the area, because I like to have mine nice and neat as best as possible. So that way everything is just available right here on just one small little tiny spot. And then what we're going to do is you're going to want to, once you have your area where you want to put it and taken care of, you're going to want to come to this icon right here. It's like the sort of like the new button with a plus sign. It's the import an i3D file. You can also go into files and import. I just always did it this way. That's how I've always done it. So I just do it this way. You're going to import, and it drops you inside of your Hoggenstead map folder here. And we're going to go right to where we have our shed here, and we're going to select either one of the i3D files. So we're going to use what I'm using right now, which is the red and gray. I'm going to double click on that. It's going to load it in there, but it might not load it right in front of you. It usually has a pre-spawn selection here. So all we're going to do is hit left Control B, click anywhere we want, and then it puts you right into the game there. And then you can sit there and you can modify it, so you can select the entire thing. Make sure you select the entire thing inside the screen graph. You don't want to end up clicking something like trim or something, and then you're moving the trim around there, and next thing you know your trim's all off. You just want to make sure you select the entire thing here, and we do need to rotate it. That's why I said about having your attributes open, because you got to rotate. And it looks like we'll go to -90 there, and I usually use all of our important locations, the 90s, 180, 270, and 0. I usually do it that way to help keep everything nice and symmetrical and squared off. But we're going to sit there, we're going to need to lower the ground here, and with the entire thing selected, it does give you this little icon here, which you can control different heights, where it's specifically placed. We're just going to, again, just move it around and make sure it's nice and level. You don't want to have a huge gap like that, trying to drive over. You want to make sure it's nice and sloped, and that would do it right there. And then you can sit there, you can go through, if you feel so inclined, you can delete out all of these individual things that you see. If you see you don't want to get rid of the lift, you want to get rid of, any of the paint stains, you can do that. Whatever you want to do, you can do it that way. And then we're going to sit there, we're going to import the door, so we'll make sure we have the door imported real quick. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the exact same method where we're going to go to import the i3D. We're going to go back out to textures, and then you're going to select door and then the door work i3D. And again, we'll do Control B and bring it to where we need it to be. And then this is going to take a little bit of trial and error. Most likely you will have to, once you have it installed. I usually do both of them real quick, so I'm going to just rotate this to match, which appears that it's going to be 0. So make this 0. And we'll just bring this right back in. And then this is just going to take a few minutes to get set up to where you want it to fall. So it looks like the height is just right. And we just need to shift it over a little bit, make sure it fits in there nicely. And then we do need to change the scaling of it to make it just a little bit longer. I'm actually pointing to my screen thinking you can see me. But we're going to need to scale it, and I think it's the Z, where we're just going to scale probably probably a 2.25. That looks like it did it perfectly. Just neaten it out just a little bit there. Beautiful. And it puts it in there. The only downer about it is that it doesn't give you, as you can see, like the rails that come up, so you don't know what's the correct angle to put it. So that's the only bad part. But it's rather easy. We're just going to sit there and, put it in there. We'll load it into the game. We'll test it out, make sure it works. And then if you see it comes up the back way, then you just have to simply redo it and just come in here and rotate the y-axis to where it needs to be. But now that that's in there, we have that properly. We're going to hit Control D. Control D will duplicate it, so it gives us the ability to have that one stay there and pulls out another one. So we're going to bring this over here, and I know we already have to scale this down to probably 1 to start. Bring it down. We're going to have to lower the height and most likely lower the width. Yeah, the width will probably be about 0.7-ish. So the width, that's the height. We'll just try 0.7. And as I said, this is all trial and error, see if it lines up properly. That's in there, make sure it fits in there ever so nicely, and that looks like we need just a little more height, maybe a 0.8 at most. Yeah, 0.8 seems to be the golden number there, yep. And then we do need to just adjust the width real quick. And the width, I actually believe, will be probably a 0.8 as well. Here, so we're just, again, type in your 0.8s. That's actually too small, so we're going to try 0.9. 0.9 is actually almost perfect. You can keep going here, but we're going to just do it that way. And it makes it nice and flushed in. Looks good. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to, just to make sure that you guys believe I did this today, is we're going to sit there and, just import wherever we need. I don't need attributes open anymore. And we're just going to modify the text real quick, or not the text, but like the terrain there. And we're going to put a gravel entrance here, just a little drive in. And there we go. And I'm just going to, just make sure you believe me, I'm going to put my signature there. Just so you believe me. Sort of like one of those magicians, sign a piece of paper, somehow it magically appears. So then once we have that all taken care of, we can sit there, and we do want to reference our README since it did come with a README. Where as you can see, it says to import into the editor, which we did. So we are done here. We can simply click up here. You can hit save up in file or save. I always do the save i3D. Right here, the nice quick icon. You want to make sure you do that. You don't want to do save as. And we're just going to click that. We're going to wait for it to pop up down here where it sits there and says that it was saved. Once it's saved, you can X out of that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just reference our i3D once I bring it back over. And what's going to happen is we can remove that just to make it a little easier. There are 3 more steps that we need to do. The first thing is we need to copy the text for the mod document, for the mod description. So we're going to slide that over. And what we're going to do is we're going to go back out to our Hoginstead, the main folder right at the beginning. And you'll see an XML file that says mod desk. It's the mod description. We're going to right click and click edit with Notepad or Notepad++. I use Notepad++. Just makes my life just a tiny bit easier there. And we're going to need to load up the one that was inside of our ShedPack folder. And as you can see, there was a mod description.xml. We're going to do the same thing, right click edit with Notepad++. And then I'm going to make it just a little easier for you guys to see. I'm going to load it up this way. As you can see, here's the mod description for the shed. And as you can see right here, this is the Hoginstead. Now it's said for the 110N, which is what we need to copy over. It's going to be this one right here. We're going to look for the 110N in here. This is the F1 information. So something pops up, it tells you what to do. So what we're going to do is we're just going to simply select everything inside of it without selecting the 110N. We're just going to copy and paste or right click copy. And then we're just going to put it in right underneath it. Enter, Control V, paste it right in there. And it pastes it right into the mod description. And then you can sit there. You can input the key bindings if you want. We're actually going to do that. And all you're going to do is you're going to select the entire thing for the input bindings. And as you can see, it's located right under maps. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to hit enter, and we're going to paste it right inside of there. Just a secondary precaution, just in case you need it. I've never had the problem, but again, you can do what you want. Now all we're going to do is we're going to save the mod description for Hoginstead. So we're just going to click the save button or Control S or whatever you want to do. Yes, I know there's people out there that complain like, oh, I'll use the keyboard shortcuts. Once you have that done, you can X out of that. We are done inside of the mod description XML. And once we're going to do, we're going to just, again, check this off our list. You have a printout or just erase. Next, there is an animated object.xml. If you have any kind of door that you want to put in, you do need some kind of an animated object.xml folder. As you can see, there is one located inside of our ShedPack here. So all we're going to do is we're just going to right click. We're going to copy or Control C. There, we're going to go into our Hoginstead folder, and then it usually will tell you exactly where to put it. So in this case, it says to put it inside of maps, and then we're going to drop it right in here. So again, we're just going to paste it right in there. As you can see, we now have the animated objects inside of the Hoginstead folder. And then checking off with our list, we just have one last thing we need to do, which is to put the sounds in for the garage. And that's simply going to go back to our ShedPack. As you can see, there is a folder that says sounds. You want to make sure you select that. So again, we're just going to, copy. Go back into our Hoginstead folder, maps, because it does say where to put it. And we're just going to hit paste. And as you can see, it will paste the 2-door folders right into there. And once you do that, everything is in for the garage. So we're going to simply X out and not save that. And what we're going to do is we're going to come back out to our main folder. So we go into the main Hoginstead folder. We're going to select everything. We're going to right click. We're going to do send to and then a compressed zip. I've always done send to compressed zip. In my opinion, that what works for me. I've seen people use 7-zip, WinRAR, to archive the folders into a zip folder, I just use send to compressed zip. All the same thing, but for me it just works that way, so we're just going to send that in. And it may take some time depending on the size of the map, you know, how much is in there. This is the most crucial part, is that you need to name it exactly what it is inside of the original folder. So in this case it's FS17_Haagenstedt. That is exactly what we need it to be named. Okay, you want to make sure it's like that, because it will not load properly. It may not even load at all if it's not named correctly. Now my recommendation is to have a Haagenstedt, the original one, already put in there with a copy somewhere else. If you can notice, I actually have an original folder where I have all of my original mods, so if something does go wrong or anything happens, there's always an original and ones that are current and stable. So like for instance, this is my current up-to-date Westridge Hills, because I've been using it a lot and it is completely stable. So we're just going to make sure we have one of those put inside of our documents and then mods. So in my case, I already have one there. So you're just going to, again, copy and paste. I could click and drag that into there, because I know this is where my mods folder is. But all you gotta do is you're gonna go to, if you can't find it, you're just gonna go to this PC, documents, my games, Farming Simulator 17, mods, and then you're just going to copy and paste it in there. And the reason I said have one already in there is that way you know that when you sit there and load it, if you spelled out the name correctly, you will have this folder pop up, and you just sit there and hit replace. It will replace it, and then it puts it in there for you and taken care of. So that's all we need to do inside of that folder. So we are going to load Farming Simulator 17. Alright, once you load into your folder here, you just want to make sure you go into mods, and then I always recommend going into update, install, or maps, wherever it is. In this case, we went into maps, and Haagenstedt is in there, and it does say to update it, which means you are good. Do not update it. When you do update it, it will erase everything you did. So as long as it says update, then you know it is in there correctly. And we're going to go into career, and we're just going to go into a new folder here, and we're going to go right to where we have Haagenstedt. And in this case, I'm going to deselect all my mods, just because I don't know if anything for the map might possibly be conflicting. So we're just going to make sure we have Haagenstedt selected, which it should be, and we're just going to click start and let her load up. Alright, so we loaded into Haagenstedt here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to, for simplicity, I'm going to hit tab, and it's going to put me at our truck here, and I'm actually going to just change something real quick, because I don't like when the engine does that, like you don't have control of it. And we're going to make our way down here, and as you can already notice out of the corner of the screen that there is a new building that did pop up there. So we're going to continue loading up and make our way over there. As you can see, that's exactly where we placed it, exactly how we did our ground. And if you take a look right there in the back corner, I have my signature, as you can see. So what we're going to do is we're going to just stop here real quick. I am going to load up the F1 so you can see what to do. But what we're going to do is we're just going to make our way up to it. And it says you're going to left click to open the door, and we're just going to back away. And as you can see, it is just opening up backwards real quick, but that's nothing. We can just go right into the giant editor and to rotate it real quick. But as you can see, it is in there, so we just need to, again, rotate it out just real quick. Make everything easy there, but everything seems to be working pretty good. I do like the way this looks. So I'm going to end it this way. If you like the video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more different types of modding videos. Be sure to do that, and again, subscribe for more, and I will see you on our next episode.